There you go. Check that one out. You check that one out. You check that one out. Come on. Yeah. These are my babies right here. I got them a couple years ago. They were really sick and down, and I nursed them back to health. And so far, they're doing real good. I've had one set of pups this year out of 3 of them. So got them back up to health and sold the pups, and it's really helped me. The Lord's blessed me. He's brought these to me, and you know, I can't raise cows. The grass dies too much, so I got into dogs. Now here's some of the cabinets that I build. I got these covered up. I got to take them to a lady in Muldrow, building a new home. They got drawer pull-outs and everything. This is the one for the sink and the dishwasher area. Anybody is here, I can work at my own pace. I can work 3 or 4 hours. If my back goes down and I get to hurting, you know, I can go lay down, you know. It's not like a steady job. Well, this is my house. Right after I got finished building my sister's, remodeling it, and then got Mom set in after her heart attack and everything. I was living in the barn in my 5th wheel and decided to build me a house once I got some of my debt paid down, and I started praying about it and drawed the plans out myself, and went to a guy and had him blueprint them. And I talked to my uncle. He's 70 years old. He's blind in his right eye, and I used to build houses with him when I was a kid, and his son, and now they live up at Cedarville, and I went and talked to them, and he said on one condition that we just take it easy and we discuss what we're going to do. And I said, well, I pray about everything that I'm going to do and let God give me a vision. And this was a vision that I'd had in my head for years. When I bought this old farm, I was run down and hurt and lost everything I had. Material things really didn't matter. It's just you kind of lose your heart at some time and moment. I was remodeling my sister's old house, and I knew the Lord was with me, but you know, you just couldn't feel the presence, and I had to come up and find a spot. And this was all briar patches and weeds, and it was all growed up, and there was a path up here to this rock. And this rock was here, and it was so growed up around it you couldn't even see the mountain over there. You know, and I'd come up here and sit and I'd pray, and it even gets to be today. But this is where I sat and cried. And asked the Lord to just take me. You know, I'm tired, I'm run down. My back it's back together. I've got my legs back, but I just sat here for hours. And I fell asleep one time. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning when I woke up on this rock, and I just felt a new lift. And I walked down, I got in my pickup, and I got a hold of Jennifer and Eric and prayed with them, and they were so much strength from her and him. And Sue was there, and this was my rock. This was my spot that I could come and be with the Lord. I had a bunch of cattle coming down, and well, I had 30 head of cattle and calves, and some of the cattle was they were getting ready to calve, and I bought this old farm, and the fences were down, and I was out here. This was December the 22nd, and it was about 5:30 at night. This last post, I was trying to get it in, connect this fence up. Probably could have them dropped here the next day. They were bringing half of them down. 2 loads, and so I needed a place to put them, you know, and feed them until I could get some other things built. And I had the auger was sitting down there, you know, tied to the fence now. It was on the back of my tractor, and I was digging this last hole, and this old farm had so much old wire and stuff laying around, and I'd seen the wire there by the auger, and I didn't have time to get this all tangled up and messed up, you know. It was dark, you know, the light, I just had one light on my tractor, and I raised the auger up because it wasn't going down right. There was something wrong, and when I raised the auger up, I noticed the wire was laying right there by it. So I reached over and I hit the PTO with my hand, but the throttle was beside the PTO, and I bumped the throttle and at the same time, and you just all do it in one motion. And I stepped off the tractor to pick up the wire to move it out of the way, and that auger just flipped back on, and when it did, it wobbled and snagged the wire that I was holding. And that's when it sucked me into it and drawed me into it backwards and wrapped my arm and hand into the auger. And as it was going around, my legs were slinging out and hit the tractor, and I just said, God, take me, get me off of here, you know. And I wrapped my arm around the auger to try to pull myself loose. And when that happened, I hit the drive line. The drive line come and it busted my skull across, and it almost knocked me out, you know. And at that time was the next go around, and I let go. And when I let go, my body went out, and I flew from here over to this big cedar tree. There was all these rocks used to be mounted up here. This was an old root cellar. And I flew from here about 20 feet over yonder and landed on the ground on my back. And, you know, instantly, you know, it just went through me, what have I done, you know? I said, God, you know, help me, what have I done? And I raised my arm up, and you could see the bone at the elbow where it ripped off, and the tractor there and the auger going around. But, you know, I couldn't find my arm. I could feel my hand. And I said, God, you know, take me. It's over with, you know. And just something kicked in, you know, and I was laying over there, not enough light to see anything. And this beautiful, it's weird to say, but this tree lit up so much. You could see every limb, all the green and the grays and everything all the way up through it. It was so beautiful in my arm. And I instantly reached for my belt and wrapping around it for like a tourniquet on my arm, you know. And I was fixing to go for my phone, and my sister walked out on the porch of Mom's house and hollering at me. It was supper time, you know. And I turned and I screamed at her, and I says, call 911. I tore my arm off, and she come running up here, and a lady friend of mine come running up here, and they freaked out. And I told them, you know, just, you know, settle down, you know. You know, I knew it was okay. God was there, you know. I talked to the Lord one-on-one, you know, and He is my Father. And He's comforted me through all of this, the losing, you know, of, you know, being paralyzed for 2.5 years and being able to get my legs back and then turn around and losing my wife of cancer. I took care of her for almost 6 weeks at home where she wanted to pass away. And seeing day by day, hour by hour, and praying with her and picking her up and carrying her and going outside at night when she wanted to get away and praying to the Lord and you know, we just prayed to take her, take me home. I've had enough of it, and he did. It was about probably 6:30 in the morning. I woke up, and prior to that, I lost my dog, her loving dog, about 6 hours before she passed away. And I buried her dog, and I come back in the house and laid down, and then I woke up and went to her bedside, and I was holding her hand at her last breath. I just said, thank you, God. The pain was gone, no more medicine, no more struggles. It was over with, and I just asked the Lord, to take me now. I've lost her. I thought I lost everything, and the Lord's carried me. I was right-handed all my life, and I learned how to write left-handed, learned how to use this, and what I do today is because the Lord has His right hand for mine. He's provided that. I do believe. And the comfort I get out of this is my wife and I always held hands. When we were driving or going anywhere, or I had my arm around her. And even after 21 years of marriage, we were still that close, that tight. And it's because of God's provided it. And I look at today that I sent my right arm to be with her, and that comforts me, knowing that part of me is there. And someday, when all this is over with and I get my new body, and no more pain and all this, and I can see my Lord that has the strength to give you what you need. All you got to do is ask for it and love Him, and He will carry you. And what I do today is I guess because of the Lord, because I don't have the body strength in me to carry on,